along the coast, Dylan Holiday, the Big Quincy. How you doing, Dylan?
I'm going fantastic, Eddie. I have all the toilet paper I could dream of.
You rock, son. You rock. It's always good to have mega toilet paper. I mean, this toilet paper craze that everybody's going through right now is just it's amazing to say the least. I mean, I we went to the store today and we were attempting to purchase, just your regular, household items, toilet paper, food,
Lube.
things of that nature, things that you would normally get when you go to the store. And there was absolutely nothing on the shelves. I couldn't find TP for my bungholes for anything. And I was trying and I was praying for Beavis to show up.
Yeah, even the stores up here are, yeah, I mean, they're completely barren. Necessity products are gone. Even, I mean, I don't know what you saw as far as the food aisles go, Eddie, but our food aisles are
Nothing.
destroyed. Nothing. No toilet paper and no food.
Yeah, there wasn't anything. I mean, we had to go to like 4 or 5 different places just to find, paper towels, toilet paper, soap, just your normal stuff. I mean, people are going absolutely insane over everything that's taking place. I mean, to be able to sit there and search and search and search for stuff that's normally in abundance, I mean, it's totally nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
and to go to so many different places just to find these things,
Well,
it's like uh, I don't get it.
let's talk real quick about who coronavirus is affecting as of right now, mainstream wise.
Well,
Obviously, the
well, well,
biggest. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Obviously, the biggest name so far is Tom Hanks. He was a great, he's a great actor. He was actually abroad filming in Australia, I believe, and he and his wife both tested positive for the coronavirus. You have various members of the NBA's Utah Jazz positive with corona, and there are a couple of others. And to me, Eddie, I don't know when this was real to you, but it was real to me when I heard that Westchester, New York had the most cases, because that's the rich people. Westchester, the best
Yeah,
Chester.
coronavirus. It doesn't differentiate between poor, rich, politics, or anything. It'll tag you no matter what.
Well, see, but the thing is normally when you look at something like, let's look at the biggest virus before Corona. Let's look at the STD AIDS. Let's look at HIV AIDS. If you're a normal person who has HIV AIDS, you're dead pretty quick. Whereas someone like Magic Johnson, he's going, what, 20 years?
Yeah.
He has the resources to kind of keep his disease at bay, whereas the average person doesn't have that. So when you see that these people who have seemingly the world, in their hands, they don't even have the money to keep this at bay. It is disheartening and scary.
No, it really is. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Just make sure I'm getting out. Well, as of today, the president he issued a national emergency. And I mean, I'm going to put this up here on the screen. What does it mean to be in a state of emergency? Well, first off, President Donald Trump declared a national emergency Friday as rapidly spreading coronavirus continued to tighten its grip on the world while upending everyday life in America. Dylan, I mean, I know a lot of people haven't been through this, but I know you look into a lot of this a lot of times, and people come to you for answers over near your area where you live. What does this mean to you? What is this national emergency that he put together? What is it going to do for the general public, for us?
So that's a great question. And to be honest, it's different for every walk of life. So, in a national state of emergency, most of the time, you'll see things like schools are shut down. Most businesses will be shut down, but truthfully, it is up to the business depending on what you're doing. Like hospitals will still be open. Eddie, I believe police stations are still open. Schools, however, will be
Oh yeah,
closed.
they never close.
Now, schools have to meet, at least in the state of Pennsylvania, a minimum requirement of 180 days. Due to the national state of emergency, those days are voided. If you don't reach 180 days, you're still going to graduate, you're still going to have summer vacation, and you won't have to make up these days. Basically, what a state of emergency means is basically that we are going to not do business as usual. We're going to change the way that we do things just for this specific period of time. I believe as of right now, it's from Monday. The state of emergency is effective from Monday until the 27th, I believe, as of now. But that could change.
Well, I know for a fact all the schools are shutting down around here in San Antonio, and even up in Colorado, I know they're going to be shut down till the 30th, if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to start letting kids back in. I assume this is going to be only if this state of emergency is lifted, or if this pandemic is slowly but surely getting better. I don't know if they're going to do it right away or quickly, though, because I think if they do it too quickly, or you start getting a lot of people in one small place too soon, I think it's going to blow up again. I don't think people should be overly concerned. It is something that is serious. I don't think people should become panicked or overly concerned with this. They should just, avoid crowded places, keep clean, keep their hands clean, keep their hands off their face. Just your normal precautions you would have if, there was somebody that was sick with the flu or with a cold. I think if people over panic or overthink this, I think it's going to cause more problems and be a lot worse than what it is right now, because everybody knows that if you panic or if you start losing control, you lose control of the situation as well. And I don't think that's what we want.
It's important for us to note, though, that you and I aren't doctors. We know nothing about this disease, and obviously people should not be taking our advice. I do want to talk.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you've never played doctor?
I've never played doctor, Eddie. No.
Wow.
I do want to talk really quickly about the people that this affects in a couple of different ways. So, number one, not so much a person, but it does affect the economy. We're seeing right now that stocks have dropped pretty far. The last I checked, it was a 12% drop. It could have even went down further. Eddie, do you have an update on that by chance?
I do not have an update on the stocks, but I do know that it has been dropping steadily. I do know that they're putting plans in place in order to try and boost the stock market a little bit, to give it kind of a bump so it doesn't keep dropping so quickly. But I don't think people should run off and do anything drastic just yet, because if you remember back during the days of the Ebola virus and all of this stuff, and the swine flu and bird flu and all this other stuff that happened, the stock market always falls.
Yeah.
But when it comes back with a vengeance. Right now, I think if I was playing the stocks, I would be buying a lot, right now while things are cheap, because it's going to explode and it's going to come back hard.
Yeah.
And, and it happens every time. It's not something that I'm making up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something that always happens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, if whatever you do, you're going to roll the dice, don't get me wrong. But every time in the past that the stock market has crashed due to a pandemic, some sort of flu or whatever that may have hit the public, the stock market always comes back stronger and harder than ever. So this isn't something that's going to take us into another depression or anything like that.
It is very much an unofficial government shutdown, though, as government buildings will be closed. Small businesses and whatnot will be closed as well. So, other people that are affected, obviously, are those people, the working class. These people are going to be affected.
Us.
It may be 3 weeks until any of these people see a paycheck, and that is extremely dangerous. I mean, by the end of all this, we could have a lot of homeless people, in our hands.
Well, here's the thing, and I hope the government takes this into consideration. I mean, whenever something like this happens, and you have, especially like your middle or lower class, and they're, everybody's struggling as it is in order to pay rent, or to pay your mortgage, or make your bills, or pay your car payment, or insurances and things of that nature. But when something like this takes place, it really sticks it to everybody who doesn't have, who don't have the money to just fork out and pay, and can last months and months and months without a paycheck. I know myself, for one, if I miss 2 weeks worth of work, I am struggling. You know how I am, Dylan. I mean, if I miss 2 weeks worth of work, due to weather or whatever else, I mean, it's literally balls to the wall when I go back to work, because I have to, in order to try and catch up. And it takes me months to catch up after something like that. It's extremely difficult. So I'm hoping that there'll be something in place that will protect, your everyday Joe, from, falling so far behind that they can't make up for it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially not knowing how long this pandemic's going to last.
And the thing about me is just moved into a new apartment with my two brothers, but I make a minimum wage living, so obviously things are difficult for me now. And even with 3 paychecks, it's difficult to live here in the city. The next people that I want to talk about, Eddie, are people who, I mean, I understand this is more my nostalgia. You can see, Eddie, I'm wearing my baseball shirt, and the reason that I'm doing that is there are a lot of seniors, not only in high school but in colleges, that are missing out on a season, that are missing out on a competition. They're never going to be able to get this time back. Specifically, folks who are, seniors in high school. I know that seniors in colleges, some colleges have come forward and said that they will continue to enlist these people next year to give them that season back. But these high school students are never going to have that. And, so if you have a student or a child that's around that age, make sure you just tell them the importance of still striving and still helping the community. Because I know I've talked to some friends of mine whose spirits are absolutely shattered.
Oh, absolutely. Now, let me ask you, if there are any school age men and women that are in here right now, and they're in high school, what would you tell them right now, as far as with everything that's going on and schools being canceled?
First and foremost, to any young people that I would talk to personally, I would say don't panic. Now isn't a time to panic, obviously. I believe personally, and like I said, I'm no professional, but I believe personally that we caught this soon enough that we will bounce back quickly. Having said that, these people flooding to the grocery stores to stock up last stitch like they're getting ready for doomsday. These people who are getting in fights at Whole Foods. That's not the right way to act right now. We can't break out into anarchy. And to specifically students, to any young people, I would say, listen, just because you have the next 2 weeks off of school doesn't mean you should stop learning. Even if it's something simple like watching a documentary or watching some YouTube videos, get out there, continue to learn. Don't take this as just a vacation. Continue to strive. And hey, if you're someone who does play a sport and maybe your season's canceled, go out there these next 2 weeks, go in your yard, play some catch, bat around with some friends, but at the end of the day, just stay safe.
Absolutely. And I got to say, when I went to the store today, that's when it became real to me. I know you asked me, when it became real. That's when it became real. is when I went into the store and I saw everything off the aisles. I felt like I was in a scene of The Walking Dead. It was incredible the way people are acting, running around through there, just grabbing stuff. I mean, anything. I mean, they don't understand. I mean, this stuff isn't going anywhere. This is stuff that's going to be here. It's going to be around. We're not going to run out of food.
Yeah.
We're not going to run out of toilet paper or anything like that. But they're causing us to run low until they restock because everybody's in this mega panic.
And Eddie, the thing is that there is $50 billion at hand here of relief fund. There is $50 billion worth of American currency to help with corona relief. Sam's Club is empty. Thank you for your comment. And we do see all of your comments, guys. I'm sorry we're not really reading them as closely as normal, but there are just some things we're trying to get out here. It is interesting, Eddie, because this is the first time in my life where I've seen this kind of panic. I was through, obviously, the Ebola, the swine flu, all of that.
Right, but you were real young back then.
Well, but I was old enough to understand what was going on. But this is also the first time I've seen a state of emergency. So this is new to me. And I'm learning, just like so many other people are learning, but I'm trying to share my knowledge with others. I think people need to realize that these materials aren't going anywhere. And that just because you're ordering things off of Amazon, just because that doesn't mean you're safe, just be patient, only buy what you need, be very diligent. And remember, guys, we can all stand to make do. At the end of the day, you don't need to buy 3 giant things of toilet paper for something that could only last a couple more weeks. Buy what you need, bare necessities. I know Eddie's guilty of buying way more than what he needs, because 3 women live in his house. Eddie's one of those people.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of estrogen that floats around me constantly. So
how many cases of toilet paper did you buy today, Eddie?
Oh, it wasn't cases. We got 2 4-roll packs, and that's all we were able to find.
See, the way that Elsa made it sound, you guys cleared the shelves.
No. Well, we did clear the shelves. That's all that was left.
Yeah. It is.
Thank God for Angel Soft.
It is interesting to me. Oh God, that single ply garbage.
It's all that was there. I'd have used dry leaves if that's all I had.
It is interesting to me to see that. Normally in a time of crisis like this, America comes together. There has not been a lot of sympathy, and there has not been a lot of coming together. People are pissed. Boy, I hope that people come together very soon. I think that obviously political tensions are high right now, but I don't think that should separate us from humanity and humility. And I hope that people decide to just become human again and stop fist fighting over toilet paper. Have you seen any of the videos yet, Eddie? Of the
I have, and it's insane.
The one fight, dude, the guy completely blindsided a fella. The guy was in a produce store, a Whole Foods, just looking at what produce they had left. And this dude just blindsides this guy, starts hitting him. I think, Eddie, that you wanted to talk about the polls also, the Democratic polls, and how the Democrats are looking to get away from Corona a little bit and maybe lighten the load a little bit. But before I get to that,
first off, before we do that,
okay, go ahead.
Just want to let everybody know that this picture that I have of here, this virus, that is the actual coronavirus in an electron microscope.
Mm-hmm.
That is the virus that is being spread. So that way you can actually see what it is that we're dealing with.
Really quickly before I shift, though, I would like to thank you folks for spending your Friday night with us. I know that right now is a scary time for everyone, not only those of us in the States, and we do appreciate you spending your time with us. So, Eddie, let's talk about the Democratic polls. Let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay, I'll let you start.
So, I don't know if you're aware of this. Oh, we have a comment. That would be nice. People remembering that we are all human. I agree 100%. I think everyone just needs to chill. So, right now, as of Friday, March 13th, Biden is leading every demographic.
But does he know this?
I would assume so. Now, this is according to realclearpolitics.com. So take that for what you will. I'm sure every website has different polls, but this particular website says that in the Florida Democratic presidential primary, Biden's up 38. That's Biden 65, Sanders 27, Gabbard 2. That is the Emerson poll of Florida. In the Gravis, Florida poll, you have Biden up by 41. That's 66 Biden, 25 for Sanders, and Gabbard with not a vote.
You know, I gotta say, I'm actually really surprised that Sanders isn't higher on the polls. And by no means am I supporting either crazy Bernie or just
it's
or Biden. But the whole thing is if you look at the turnouts, Sanders always has higher. It looks like he's got so many more people than Biden.
Yep.
And so I don't know. I'm kind of leery, because let's face it, the Democrats really don't want Bernie as their front runner.
But they don't want Biden.
Knowing how they play,
they don't want Biden either. Though this is an interesting election because they don't want Biden either.
Well, they're unfortunately, we didn't cook the stew that they made. I mean, they did, and so whatever it tastes like, it's going to be because of them. So I mean, I don't know. With both of them, you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you want, something like, where we have, we're living in Russia during the Communist Party times. I mean, of course, we can get Sanders. Or if we want somebody who doesn't even know where they're at most of the time, or who they're talking to, or who has a really bad temper, we can get Biden. But Biden, what I want everybody to know, Biden, the way he is right now, is not the Biden that was with Obama during those times. This is not the same Biden, people. Mm-hmm. This dude has lost it. He is like falling off the deep end. I mean, he is not the same person that you had seen before. He's not the same vice president, that was back in the Obama days. He's not. He's not the same. He's got mental issues. He's got medical issues. I mean, the man is literally coming apart. And I don't mean to poke fun at the guy. I really don't. But honestly, do you really want somebody who has a temper, who talks back to people in his manner? Now, I know Trump does, but everybody knows that's just Trump. This is not Biden. Biden wasn't one who would do this,
but you can't.
Okay, but he's doing it now.
But you can't justify one person doing something and say that another person can't do that. Listen, if I was Biden,
no, it's not that. But
I would be doing the same thing Biden's doing because it worked for Trump. Listen, being that guy worked for Donald Trump.
Right, but just because it works for one person.
But it doesn't mean that it won't. Right now, as far as Bernie Sanders,
because it works for one person, Dylan. Yeah, but because something like that works for one person doesn't mean it works for another. On the street, when I was training guys, I would tell them, don't do what I do on the street when I'm talking to people, because what I do, I can call somebody an asshole 15 different ways and have them thank me when I'm done. They try it, they get a complaint because it doesn't work for them. So if he's trying to do what Trump did to make it work for him, it's not going to work for him. It works for Trump because he's Trump, but it's not going to work for him.
looking at the polls, okay? Looking at the polls, this is statistics. This is once again according to the same site. You have Biden beating Sanders and Sanders beating Trump. So that is astronomical. The fact that the second best candidate, now granted, this is all Democratic, so of course you wouldn't assume Trump to be winning. Um, Donald Trump did win the Democrats of Florida vote. However, Sanders won Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin out of Trump and Sanders, and out of Biden and Trump. Trump won Florida, but Biden won Pennsylvania. They had a tie in Wisconsin, and out of the two Democrats, Biden and Sanders, Biden won every state.
So, who do you think Trump's going to go against, Dylan?
Okay. I've thought a lot about this, and at the end of the day, this isn't where my political affiliation necessarily lands, but I think that Donald Trump will probably run against Bernie Sanders, and here's why. I don't see Joe Biden continuing his campaign. I think he's definitely high up there in the polls as of right now, but I don't see that persisting, especially because we are seeing him throw what I call a changeup constantly. He's asked one thing in interviews and one thing in press conferences and one thing during debates, and he answers one way, but then when people talk to him, he answers a completely different way. It's that very vintage move of politically just lying. And Eddie, you're the one that brought to light when he was being talked to at the debate. He said he was going to go after guns, and then another guy on the street just talked to him and said, "Hey, why are you taking our guns?" And he goes, "I don't give a fuck about your guns. I'm not coming after them." He is lying. He's saying what he thinks his party wants to hear during the debate. And Bernie Sanders, while I'm sure Bernie's doing his fair share of lying, he's keeping it pretty stone-faced on all sides. When he's in debates, he's saying the same thing that he's saying on the streets. And I think that goes a long
That's
way.
because Bernie believes what he's saying. He's been saying it for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't changed. Bernie thoroughly believes what he's saying. And either you're going to like what he's saying or you're not going to like what he's saying. It's like Donald Trump. Donald Trump says what's on his mind. He doesn't give a shit how it comes across. That's what he feels, and that's a good thing. I like that. I know there's a lot of Americans that like that. I know there's a lot of Americans that don't like that. They rather have the more political type answers and hidden type agendas and all that. I don't care for that shit. I like to hear what is on your mind. And I think that's why Donald Trump got elected to begin with, because he tells you what's on his mind. He says what most of us are thinking, and we like that because we've had it up to here with all the bullshit, all the politics, all the lying, all the degrading, and people aren't smart enough to know what we're doing, and why should we tell them, and let's all lie about all this shit, and they don't need to know anything. And then you got idiot Obama over there talking about how he's going to go and attack the Taliban on this date, on this hour. So he's letting them know so that they can vacate so he doesn't accidentally bomb one of them by chance. And Trump sends in a drone. He kills a bastard right there on the spot. He doesn't say anything. That's the way it should be done on those type of situations, because people want to hear the truth, and if we hear it after the fact because, he's going to go kill somebody, fine. But at least he got rid of that idiot. Obama would put out there, well, we're going to go after the Taliban and we're going to go shoot them and we're going to blow them up with these missiles and blah, 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 on this date and this time. And, oh, thank you. We'll leave. We'll come back after you spend all your missiles, and that was just stupid shit like that. People were tired of it.
Every presidency has flaws. and I think that goes without saying. You know, as far as this presidency, listen, this crash, let's say, Eddie, hypothetically the stock market doesn't come back after this all passes, that is going to be the black mark on Trump's presidency. Obviously the impeachment's already a pretty black mark, but also, you know, if the stock market
The
doesn't
impeachment
come
didn't do
back,
anything to him.
no it didn't, but you have to think of it like this,
The
for the rest of
impeachment
history.
actually helped him.
It did statistically, but listen, you have to think of it like this. For the rest of history, when people are talking about Donald Trump, he was still an impeached president. It's still something that the
But
history
he's
books
not
go ahead and talk
impeached.
about. Technically, he is, though. Even though he doesn't
No,
have to leave office, he is. He was impeached by
no,
one, not by
he's
the
not.
other.
It would be like
It's
me
still.
telling you, Dylan. It would be like me telling you, we're filing charges on you. We got you indicted on, say, theft, right?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden the grand jury says, no, there's not enough here. That's gone. It's off your
So
record.
you mean exactly what happened with O.J. Simpson?
Basically, yeah.
But exactly when you look
He's
at
not a
O.J.
murderer.
Simpson, but Eddie, you're proving my point though, because when you look at O.J. Simpson, there's still people that think he's a murderer. What happened was, and you know what happened was, the main court said that he didn't do it, he was not guilty. But when the Goldman family sued him, that court said, well, because they said he wasn't guilty, we can't say he is, but we can say he's responsible for it, and he still has to pay you. It's
They
saying
can say
he's
that,
guilty.
but
It's
here's
saying
the
he's
thing.
guilty without saying
No,
he's guilty.
here's the thing. If you are not indicted, if I take your paperwork, I'm say, Dylan, you're going to be indicted, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, oh shit, I'm going to have these charges on me, blah, blah, blah. But you're not indicted. You have not committed a crime anymore.
And I can definitely understand. I can see it that way, but
It's the same thing with impeachment, that he has not, they attempted to impeach him,
Mhm.
but he was not impeached.
And like I said, I can definitely see it that way. But when there's two sides, it's just, it is different, because then again, if you look at someone like Bill Clinton, then I'm saying technically Bill Clinton wasn't, because he served out the rest of his presidency. Would you say that Bill Clinton wasn't impeached, Eddie?
Was he impeached though? Was he found guilty? Did they
Yes,
impeach him?
I believe he was. You
Well,
have two. You have Richard Nixon and you have Bill Clinton. Both are considered impeached.
if the House impeaches them and they agree and they're found guilty, they are impeached, whether he served out the sentence or not.
I don't.
Now, but if they say there is lack of evidence, we're not going to go forward with impeachment, nothing wrong, no foul, then no, you're not impeached at that time.
I believe the two in history were Bill Clinton and Richard Nixon. We obviously all know what happened with Richard Nixon, but Bill Clinton did serve out the rest of his term, and so I don't. I wasn't alive for Bill Clinton's presidency. I was born in '99, so I think I had a year. I was a baby. So Bill Clinton's presidency affected me none. These are all things that I've researched later in life.
You could actually be Bill Clinton's kid.
I could indeed be the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky love child. But I didn't want that to be the argument.
Coronavirus.
You can't joke about that, dude. Seriously, we'll get shut down so fast. Dude, people are pissed at Corona jokes. I follow a lot of comedians. And every comedian's doing the same thing. They're just posting things on Instagram trying to make people laugh. And their comment sections are just people saying, God damn it, can't you take anything seriously? People are dying. Listen, motherfucker, comedians make jokes about the Holocaust, 9/11, their own personal life experiences. They don't give a fuck what you say, Karen. They don't care. Let them do their thing. Those are the other people that are missing out too.
It's like old Caparillo. He had a glass thrown at him by a lady because he made a joke about Trump.
Yeah.
Well, he's a comedian.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is where people.
Well, here's the thing. I love Trump to death, but I love hearing good Trump jokes.
Of course, because he's just a hysterical. It's a hysterical facade. He is. He eats Big Macs all day. Come on now, the dude should be bigger than I am.
What's wrong with Big Macs?
besides the fact that they're probably filled with chemicals, I guess nothing. Nothing wrong with McDonald's every day.
But
Eddie, eat McDonald's every day for 365 days, and I want to see what you look like.
I do.
Oh, do you eat McDonald's every day?
I do.
It must be that youthful skin of yours helping you look thin. What's Scott have to say? I have a good.
It's that glowing look I have.
You said, Scott, you spelt Corona wrong. I have a good coronavirus, but I don't think you'll get it. I assume you mean joke. So, no, tell us your joke by all means. We're waiting. I'm waiting now. I'm going to
What's
wait.
wrong? What's wrong with Karina?
Karina. Well, I think he spelled Karina wrong too. It's spelled with an
That's
O.
the female. That is the female part of the corona.
I don't think that's how that works.
Karina.
I'm curious to hear this.
It is
joke.
now. It's our show.
It's our show. You're not allowed to say that either. People get
We
pissed.
can make it however we want.
While I have commenters in here, though, I am curious. Would you guys be interested? Eddie, can we do a poll in the comment? Is that a thing? Do you know if we can put up a poll in the comments?
I don't know. Let me
Okay.
look.
Anywho, for anyone who may be listening, would you guys be interested in me doing daily or weekly news, just general news, not even paranormal? That would include sports, that would include obviously media, that would include big news stories, and a little bit of politics. It's something I'm thinking of doing for you guys if you guys are interested in it. If not, no harm. I just wanted to know if you guys would be interested. Scott, I'm ready for this joke. I need to hear this joke. I've burned enough time for you to type it. You know, I'm very upset now. I'm very upset, Scott. You need to redeem yourself with a joke. Oh boy, Scott, you're a loyal as hell listener. You've been with us forever. Eddie, how long Scott been with us? Since before me, correct?
Long time.
He's been with y'all since before me. You know, it's great to see all the old faces. It's great to see all the new ones too. You know, all the new folks. That would be awesome. Okay, so I guess, Eddie, we will do weekly/daily news. Meaning me, not you. Obviously, you're a busy boy. I understand, you know, and Eddie's too good for me. Yeah, it's gonna be real easy stuff, guys. Just news. I'm gonna try not to focus too much on Corona the next couple days. Just because everyone knows about it. But if there are huge developments on it, I'll obviously talk about it. Love this show. Well, thank you, Scott. I wish you would love us enough to tell your joke, but I guess we're not good enough. What do you think, Eddie? Any outs?
I'm still trying to put up a poll.
Are you putting up a poll? Well, everyone in here said yes, so all three viewers said yes, Eddie. So I guess that's
okay. Well, we don't need to put a
poll then. Everybody's active today. Normally they're not active. Today everyone's active. Do we have anything else we wanted to go over, Eddie? Corona, the Democratic polls. Is there anything else?
I think that's pretty much it. You know, basically, you know, it was just I wanted to talk to everybody a little bit about, you know, the emergency that was put out by the president, and you know, we went over that already at the beginning, and, you know, that kind of a thing, and just let everybody know, just live your lives, have fun, you know, be yourselves, just, you know, be careful and keep yourselves cleaned and your hands clean, you know, not anything different than what you would do if you were around somebody with the flu or a cold. There's no need to panic. There's no need to, you know, take all the toilet paper from the shelves and make me have to go through like 4 places, you know. All that's doing is putting a burden on everybody else, just trying to make it and to survive. And there's no need to hoard up all the stuff. I mean, there really is. We're not going to run out of food. We're not going to run out of gas. We're not going to run out of water. You know, nothing like that. This is something that's going to be here. It's going to do its thing. We just need to be careful. We need to do everything we can to prevent it from getting a stronger hold, and take care of our families and ourselves. And I mean, and live your life and be happy. I mean, don't panic. I mean, the more you panic, the more the worse it's going to be. So try and make light of it, but be smart about it. That's the main thing. Be smart about it. It is something that's serious. It's not something that we should take lightly, but it's not something we should panic and lose ourselves, and freak out thinking everything's going to run out. We're not going to run out of anything. Uh, we're very well prepared in the United States to handle this type of deal. Uh, once all the grocery stores replenish and get items put in, things will go back to normal. Just don't hoard them up. There's no need in it.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.
Yeah, and if I could add on to that just a little bit, just like any type of disaster, obviously Nashville just had some terrible tornadoes, and my heart aches for those folks still. But just like you would do regularly, make sure that the kids and the elderly are taken care of. I know it seems like something stupid to check on your neighbors, but like the children and the elderly are more susceptible to like death than the rest of us. And while I understand we're all trying to save our own ass here, like make sure that if you have someone down the road who's maybe elderly, maybe give them 2 rolls of the 40,000 rolls of toilet paper you have. Might just be a nice thing to do. Once again, just be human and take care of each other. That's the most important thing I think we can do right
Absolutely.
now. And just stay safe.
We joke over here. We laugh a lot. We argue back and forth over different points in politics and things of that nature. And whether it's this show, whether it's Paranormal Analytical or one of the other shows that we're doing, whether it's on internet, whether it's on radio, we always try to let everybody know that we're all human. We're all in this world together. We're all the same. Let's, be good to each other and take care of each other while we're out here and really, really, really do our best to make this pandemic, as, get as weak as possible so that it's just something else that's in the past. I read something, speaking of that was in a book that I saw it online. I wish I would have saved a picture of it, but it was a book that was written back in the 80s. And this guy, I don't even know who wrote it, but he mentioned in the book in 2020 about a pandemic that was going to take place, and it was going to be here. It was going to kill a lot of people. And just as quickly as it showed up, it was going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling that that's exactly what's going to happen. And I wish I would have kept that clip. If anybody else knows out there what I'm talking about, if you would go ahead and just send it to me. That way I have it. I can get it posted.
I actually know.
But it was really interesting.
The fella was a psychic, and he had made.
Was he a psychic?
And he had made a claim that there would be a disease known as coronavirus in the year 2020. He said it would leave us as fast as it came, and in 10 years from 2020 it would return. And that's what he said, and we'll see if he's right or wrong. As far as my final word, and then we'll let you guys get to sleep. We appreciate you staying with us this long, and letting us into your home, especially at a time like this. It's very important that everyone realizes that even a show like this, myself and Eddie are polar opposites in almost every way, but we can still get along and have intelligent discussions with each other and even change each other's minds from time to time. You can't be below having an intelligent conversation with someone, and you can't feel like you're above someone because you think you know more than they do. Be open to having a discussion. Be open to talking to each other. Don't scream, don't yell, but speak your piece and be assertive. You owe that to yourself. Thank you so much, guys, and take care.
Now, one thing I'm going to add real quick, Chris Slevengood, who's on the show watching tonight, he sent me that book in a picture, and I really want to post this out there to you guys because this is really cool, and I think y'all enjoy it. I'm gonna put it in the comments, possibly, if I can get this thing to load. But yeah, I'm going to put this in the comments in a minute. Maybe if it loads up, I'll be happy. So far, I'm not having really good luck on it. Let's see, why won't you pop up? Weird.
It's really struggling here, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on AT&T over here, and I'm not having very good luck.
Well, I mean, I think that's about the end anyway, Eddie. So it's no biggie. You can put it on as a post, and everyone.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to post it on here.
Yeah. Like I said, guys, thank you all so much for letting us into your home at a time like this, and we appreciate your enjoyment. Stay tuned in the next couple days. I'm going to do some trials with doing daily news. If daily doesn't work out so much, we'll do weekly, maybe semi-weekly, maybe bi-weekly. I don't know yet. We'll do something, I promise.
Yeah, and like Dylan said, we appreciate you guys coming over here and hanging out with us. But it's always a joy to have you guys listen and talk with you and let us BS back and forth, and you all take the time to listen. I mean, a lot of this stuff I'm sure that you guys have seen on the internet, so we appreciate you all listen to us talking about it over again. But we can't stress enough how important it is for everybody just to remain cool and collect and calm during these crises, and things will get better, and they will get better soon. We have a great bunch of people, great government working on this thing, and it'll eventually go away for good, and we won't have to worry about it. But I will be posting this photo on Paranormal or on not Paranormal, Political Analytical. I will be posting it as its own post. So be sure to check it out as soon as we get off of here and read that little paragraph that Chris has circled in red. You're going to be amazed. So y'all take care. We're going to try and be going live soon on Paranormal Analytical as well, talking more about the Blowing Cave. And we're going to be getting some really cool stuff going on there.
Who's getting
and if you haven't had a chance, read the article that I posted on there that was written about the blue people, the blue avians. That was really cool. So anyway, thanks again from Paranormal. Why do I keep saying that? I must want to go live on Paranormal. Thanks again from Political Analytical. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for being with us. Quincy, thank you for being with us tonight, man. I appreciate it. All of you on the chat, thank you for showing up, being with us. Chris, thanks for sending that photo. And y'all take care. Be safe. Please be good. Please stay washed up and clean. Have fun. Live your lives. Be happy. And we'll see you guys again real soon.